Hey y'all, hey! Angelina live with the
Hi.
Queen. Come on in,
How's
the
everybody
Queen.
doing?
How's everybody doing tonight? It is Sunday, and I personally love to do Facebook Lives on Sunday, and I am honored that I have a very special guest with me who is an author. And look, normally I don't write stuff out because y'all know I try to be spontaneous. But you are such a professional.
Not.
You are such a professional that I said, I'm going to write these questions down.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So, girl, let's start with the real deal. This ain't on here.
Okay. Yes.
Tell me about the hotness of the first book.
The hotness of the
The
first
hotness,
book? What you
the
mean?
fire.
It was erotic poetry. And it was meant to be erotic poetry. And I think that a lot of what I wrote, people think that's all I write. So, yes, it was hot, but there's more to the Queen than just that.
Okay, I
Yes.
love that.
Thank
Okay. So how long would you say that this recent book has been inside of you?
Oh, the recent book has been on my mind to write since for maybe like 25 years, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna come back to that at the end. Okay.
Long time.
So then what about the first one? How long was that one on your mind?
5 minutes, literally, because, and I'm being truthful, Petty Crocker, Carl West, those are the people who pushed me to do erotic poetry. And then when I say they push me, they're my pushers, and I love them for that. But I didn't realize that I wrote that much erotic poetry. And when
I remember the binder.
avenue, yes.
She would
I
come
still
to
have
the
it.
spot with the binder, so I knew you had a lot of material.
I did. I was anxious about doing that book, but I am glad that I did do it, and I appreciate Carl West and Petty Crocker for all of their suggestions.
So,
Hey, Raina.
Hey, so since we're talking about influencers, okay, here's the tough one.
Uh-oh.
How did your parents influence your writing?
Whoa. Okay. So, gosh. All right. So I'm gonna say it without crying, real quick. My mother always told me when I was younger, whatever you want to do in life, you can write your own ticket to do. Writing your own ticket to me meant taking the necessary steps or measures to do whatever it is, whatever goal that I had. But aside from that, I was writing my own things. I wrote things that were erotic way back when I was like 15 and 16. My mother found those. She said, "Are you crazy? Stop writing that stuff." My dad found it. I mean, she talked to my dad about it, and he said, "Write whatever you want to write. Create whatever you want to create. Be careful with what you're creating because, of course, it represents you." And I said, "Okay, I agree, Dad. Thank you." My dad is also a writer, and the very first poem in this new book is the poem that my dad wrote about me.
Aww. What's the title of the book? How are we going to do an interview and not talk about the title of the book?
So the book is called Soul Searched, Soul Found.
And I got goosebumps, y'all. And I got goosebumps when she walked in because I don't know if you can see the whole ensemble.
Oh, Lord.
She looks fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
She walked in and I was like, wait a minute, it's a supermodel. I thought this was like an author thing.
Thank you.
All right, so we got to talk about fear. So how did you overcome the fear of telling your truth?
I say to myself all the time, live your truth so nobody else can hurt you with it. So, with the encouragement of my husband, he suggested, you say that all the time, so live that. Like if that's what you want to do, do it. And his support really was the push to do this book. I don't know that I would have done this book without his support or without his suggestion at this time. I may have done it when I was 90,000 years old, but who needs to wait for that?
Right.
I think that the main thing was to realize that the hurts that I felt in the past, other people feel those hurts. People experience things in different ways, but I also wanted to share how I experienced those things so that people could understand that they're not alone.
Absolutely. And that's one of my number one reasons
Yes,
for writing.
yes.
I love that. All right, so you've told us, well, actually, you've told us the title, but can you tell us what it means? Because you said soul searched, soul found. Was
Right.
the soul lost?
So I wasn't a lost soul because Jesus always got my back. But in about, no, I would say for about 11 to 12 years, I was told that I could not be what I wanted to be, which is a writer. Told that things that I was concerned with were not things that other people were concerned with. Just told that what I have created was not worthy. And in having folks to tell me that those things weren't creative, I let my own light dim. So there were things that I had to go through first to understand that I am God's. God owns me. I belong to God. God is going to take care of me. And because God doesn't like ugly and he don't make ugly, I'm good. I can go ahead and do what I need to do as far as my expression is concerned. I am sad a little bit that the person that, tried to hold me back at that point, did that, because that person should have been doing his own creations of whatever he wanted to create, as opposed to trying to keep me from being creative. So yeah.
Actually, that is really a great segue into some, I guess, esoteric territory.
I'm slide over.
Okay,
sorry.
all right. So,
So
have you ever heard the expression "the dark night of the soul"?
I have heard the expression "the dark night of the soul." Aside from writing, I study serial killers.
Ooh,
I do. It's true though, but
that was not scripted.
Not. So
because
yes.
I actually just started studying them myself.
Did you see?
And I have a great show for you to watch on YouTube.
Great.
Okay, segue. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so can you, for anybody in the audience who might not or have heard that expression, what do you think that means? The dark night of the soul.
The dark night of the soul. I think it means that where you have any feelings that could be adverse to what other people are thinking or what other people like or want or revere or respect, you have your own thoughts and your own feelings of just not greatness. And when I say that, you know what everybody likes, what everybody thinks is okay, but it sometimes with the dark soul or the dark night of the soul, you feel like you won't be accepted or appreciated in any way, and that's not the case.
And I actually heard that. I've heard the expression numerous times, but I actually fell asleep with the TV on, and when I woke up, a yoga instructor was explaining about the dark night of the soul.
The dark night of the
and
soul.
I remember going through that space myself of intense darkness.
Right.
And they describe it as hopelessness and despair.
Yes. The hopelessness is the big thing, where you feel like you have a hope that you cannot either exercise or excise. Either you can't get rid of the hope or you cannot meet the goal that you're hoping to meet. Those two things are like a Gemini, where you have the yin and the yang, back and forth, left and right. You have to be able to talk to yourself and make sure that you can mesh those together before you can actually live your truth, so nobody can hurt you with it.
Absolutely. So expand on that. What do you think it takes for a soul to turn the corner from darkness and to move towards the brighter day of the soul?
So 95% of, I'm going to tell you what, the first 5% of that is your support from the people who are around you. You do have to surround yourself with people who understand and accept you. Even if they don't understand you, they have to accept you. The other 95% of that is looking within. Looking within. My mom always told me that, whatever I'm looking for, whatever I desire, whatever I want, it's already in there. So I have to keep, looking.
That's
inside.
I have goosebumps again because that's what I'm going to be writing about myself this weekend. I was driving home to see my dad, and I just had this vision of how much my mom smiled.
Beautiful. Because
she was such a happy person. And I thought about all those times that I myself was in torment.
Yes.
And I thought, my mom, now, don't get me wrong, she didn't have a perfect life, but she reached a space where her days were brighter than they were dark.
Amen to that. Yes. We as a people have to choose happiness. And if we're not choosing happiness,
That's
the
not
darkness
professional,
is
but
going
I
to take
just,
over.
yes.
I mean, really, you have to choose happiness in all relationships, in all, work related things. In everything you do, you have to choose happiness. I have road rage, right? But if I'm on the road, I might holler or scream in my car. I'm not going to say something to the other person who might be able to hear me because I don't need a fight. So I'm going to choose happiness. I'm going to choose to continue driving.
And I've been in the car with you when you have.
Sorry. God bless you.
And she knew the person.
Yep.
Okay, that's what was funny.
Yes.
The road rage came, and then she said, "Oh, it's a family friend."
Yeah, I was like, really? Let me just keep on moving.
That was hilarious. All right. So, what advice What advice were you given in regards to writing that you want to pass on to other writers?
Do it. Stop playing. Get your words on paper, on your saved document on the computer or your jump drive or whatever it is that you want to write about. Write about it. The reason is, and this is something that I've always told my students, which I told them in the 90s. Your writing, believe it or not, is universal. By that I mean, whatever you write, somebody else, and usually that's 1.2 million other people in the world feel the same way or understand how you see it. They can look at your perspective and they'll look at it through their own eyes, but it's still something that meshes together that they'll have a greater understanding of. If you have to write, and I've got to call out my buddy, our buddy, we're going to call her out right now.
Yes, we're going to call you out.
If you write, do not waste time writing it on Facebook. Believe it or not, somebody stole a poem of mine, which is stupid. Anyway, I published it in my own book later. Anyway, if you write, remember that your writing is universal, meaning that whatever you write, somebody has that same feeling, has that same thought, has that same way of looking at it. And in doing so, writing it and sharing it in a book or whatever your avenue is to share it, then you help other people. So yes, that's my advice for other writers. Do it.
And
Publish.
I think she said it twice. I'm all about helping other people.
Yes.
I think that's what we do as educators, caregivers, moms, daughters. We care for people, and you can help people with your hands, but your words can also be so very soothing.
Absolutely.
So very soothing.
Yes.
All right, so this is going to sound like a crazy question, but I want you to go with it.
I got it. Let's go.
I purposely allowed my questions to be all over the place to show that we could still have a cohesive conversation.
That's right.
What advice would you give a writer who says that he or she can't put their thoughts on paper because they're all over the place?
Okay, so all over the place thoughts, write them down anyway. All over the place ideas that you think you want to put in a book. If you feel like you cannot organize it, reread them 1,000 times until you say, you know what, these things are like, this doesn't go, I don't want that. Reread your own work. Same thing I used to tell my students way back in the 90s when I was a writing teacher, not reading. But you have to reread and reread and reread and reread. Aside from that, you can ask people like this wonderful writing coach for assistance. You can also talk to other creative people. One of the biggest examples that I've followed I think I followed this person, is Clayton Singleton. Again, another great in creativity. Angelina is a great in creativity. Angelina DeBerry, Carl West, Petty Crocker, Yvonne Totten Evans, who I hope is watching, Teardrop Williams. Listen, folks, if you need any help, ask for it, first of all. Second of all, your own writing, if you feel like you cannot organize it, ask somebody for help. And then guess what? When you ask the people for help and they say, you know what, you could do this, this, and this, your own idea will pop right in. Oh, you know what? Thanks, but I'm going to do it this way. That's how it works.
And that's what we want.
That's right.
That's right. What we want. That's why I love the word coach. Mm-hmm. I teach during the day, but I coach when I leave work.
That's right.
And it's because I think some people just need that reassurance.
Yes.
Because every writer that I've worked with has immense talent.
Yes.
But it's the self-confidence to know that,
I
can
we
do it.
didn't call out our friend. So we had to say it at the same time. On the count of 3. We're going to call out our friend who's next to publish her stuff.
Yes,
and we're going to beat her up if she doesn't. You heard it here on Angelina Live. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Sherry, God's girl. You better be publishing your stuff.
Can we say her name one more time?
Sherry, God's girl. You better be publishing your stuff.
And wait, how about I got goosebumps a third time?
Oh, wow.
Because, I got my mama's earrings on today and them butterflies.
Yes.
That spirit is all over me.
That is beautiful.
One thing, Lord, this was not in the script.
Okay.
But, wow. So I had the privilege and honor of writing my mom's story while she was still on this side of heaven. Mm-hmm. When we had her homegoing service, the preacher stood up and he said, how many times can you preach a funeral, a homegoing service, with the person's life right there in your hands?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Now, what he read from the book, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, because it was my mom's homegoing service. I did not know where he was going to go with it. Mm-hmm. But what he said was, Angie wrote in the book that her mom taught her to always trust God.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
did I write that in the book?
Right.
That's what you said to yourself at the funeral.
Right.
It's okay,
I was thinking,
though. I get it.
Did I write that? Because I wrote so many other things that she said, my mama said.
Right.
I wrote so many things, but she never told me to trust God.
Right.
She lived it.
Right.
And so for Sherry and any other writer who is thinking about all of those negative thoughts about why you can't trust God. Mm-hmm. When I wrote my first book, what do I know? I'm a middle school teacher. That's what I said.
That's what I said to myself. I was like, okay, Stephen King. What? That's not me.
Right. And
nor am
I'm
Maya Angelou, but I'm going to do what I do.
I'm a James Patterson fan.
Are you? Great.
And he has books all over.
Yeah,
and I said, why does my one book, how does that compare to all of his? Mm-hmm. But Erica said it best. There are 1 million people who can relate to what you have experienced. Yep. So jump in, take the plunge, put your words on paper. Mm-hmm. Somebody needs, not once, somebody needs to hear what you have to say. Yep. All right, so we have come to my favorite part of Angelina Live.
Okay.
And that is Angelina Live always ends with final thoughts. Okay. That's where you have the floor. Okay. So what final thoughts do you want to give our viewers?
About what specifically? Do I have to be specific or?
No, it could be because I don't like spoiler alerts, so I don't. Okay. I mean, you can talk about the book more, or you can talk about the process of writing. Okay. And how your family has my 2 gems at your
Kendall
house.
And Kennedy.
Yes.
All right. So my final thoughts. This is about, of course, Soul Search, Soul Found. This is my baby. Lordy, I don't want to cry. So I did write these words because of
it's okay. We do that on Angelina. We cry on Angelina. We just try not to cuss. Remember?
Right. That's right.
We don't cuss on Angelina Live because because I got family and church friends and stuff like that. But
correct,
you can cry on it.
So
it's okay.
I wrote my first book, These Words, as a I got to get out there because I know I should be writing. I should be sharing what I'm writing with others. I did that again at the suggestion more so of Petty Crocker, Carl West. Yes, I love them dearly. They're not my immediate family. They're my poetry family. This book that I've written is a cathartic release of several years of angst or Lordy, feeling inadequate or unable to do. And because it's my baby and it has all of the stuff that I really, 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 really want people to know, like all of my story, again, that I'm trying to live so no one can hurt me with it. It just feels good. If nobody...
Can you say that last part?
It feels good.
It feels good.
If nobody buys the book, I'm still good because it's out there. You can buy it. You can see it maybe on a shelf somewhere and be like, oh, I don't like that or whatever it is. But I am happy that that I was able to get this book done. And I want to thank Kendall Bendel, Kennedy Bennedy, and Daryl Hall. They are, of course, at home with me, and they know I'm crazy. And sometimes when I was writing this or getting things together for this, they would be like, golly, where is she? What is she doing? But they all supported me in getting it done, and I appreciate them very much. That's all.
Are you going to celebrate this?
I'm going to celebrate it. Okay, so Angie is the most, let me do a book signing right now person that I've ever met in my life. And it's wonderful, and I'm glad about that. I will not.
I'm social.
Yes, you are. And I am too, but I don't know. Lately, I've been a little bit detached from socializing. I guess because of COVID situations or whatever. But
and when you write, you go into this space.
This is me mode.
Yeah.
So hopefully I will celebrate this after Angie, my third book. Sorry. I'm going to
That's definitely a spoiler alert. There's a third book?
Yes. The third book I'm writing for my teacher friends. It is called, I don't have a title yet, but it's about Little Johnny and Little Janie. I know y'all have seen my
We have been begging for that one.
Daryl Paul is probably going to put me in a closet and tie me up if I don't hurry up and write that book. He's been saying that since way back. So I'm going to publish that in August. Kendall Parker and Kennedy Parker are my editors. I have adult editors as well, but Kendall and Kennedy will be editing and designing. There are going to be some pictures in there. So, yes, after that, then I'll have a book party.
Okay.
I mean, a book signing, and it'll be probably in, I don't know, maybe January. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
I don't have anything on my calendar
For January. Thank you.
You got to catch me real, but
I know. Look, y'all,
calendar.
If you want to talk to Angie, you need to call her 2 months in advance. And when you do that, let her tell you when she's available, and you just try to hop in her schedule. Because it is a blessing to be with Angie and to experience Angie's knowledge about writing, publishing, life, and all that good stuff.
We had good moms. We had good moms that taught us to live.
That's correct.
And so I was sharing with Erica that, so I'm a bit of a Facebook stalker, but I Facebook positive things. And so there are some people on my timeline that are just truly blossoming. And I've had goosebumps 5 times in this interview.
Oh wait, that's
but
great.
I think that the whole dark night of the soul, it can be a space where you are at rock bottom.
Correct.
But you have to make a choice.
That's right.
To turn the corner. And that's why I asked you about turning the corner.
Right.
Because I've seen people stop at where the event happened.
Right, so and just stop living.
Yes. So the event happened right now, guys. 2 doors down. Y'all know my brother is my neighbor until I moved, but that's a whole nother story.
Right.
But my brother is my neighbor, and my dad just out of the blue said, hey, I'm going to come visit.
Right.
And that is huge for him because he misses my mom dearly. And there's a part of him that wants to stay in that cocoon, of missing her.
Right.
But we're trying to show him, hey, you still got 2 kids.
Right.
And the sun is still out, and
you can still live.
And so that's why I love reading. My mom instilled my love of reading.
Oh, good. And look, I hate reading. Just so you know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I hated it for a long time because she kept trying to give me titles I didn't want.
Okay.
And then once I self-selected and found the James Pattersons and the Stephen Kings, then I said, okay, we're good.
Okay.
But my mom always believed that you could learn so much about life in a book.
Truly, you can. I agree with that. I agree with that because somebody has already lived it, and once they've already lived it, and you can see a part of yourself there, then you also can live it and live it better. You get what I mean?
One more.
Yes.
I love it. It's like a roadmap.
It is.
It's a roadmap. So I can't wait for this one.
Oh, I want to say one more thing.
Yes, go ahead.
So look, you know how when you're in school and you're a kid, and you get like Erica was talking too much. In second grade, I was named me and this guy Brian Cuffey, who his wife is my friend on Facebook now. I don't know if she's gonna see it, but our second grade teacher called us Mr. and Mrs. Big Mouth because we kept talking our brains out, right? So, when you get in trouble in school, you don't really want to say, hey, mom, dad, look, this is what happened. You don't. You just wait for the teacher to, call home and say whatever. That is how I felt, kind of, sort of, about my previous book, These Words, because it was erotic. It's not something that I can show to everybody, right? My mom, my dad, they know me, so I'm sure as I was writing and publishing, they were laughing their brains out. But this book that I have now, Soul Search, Soul Found, it's not like me getting in trouble at school. It's like, Mom, Dad, I got an A on my English test. I mean, really, that's how this feels. And I want people to know that part of your writing, Sherry, God's girl, Osbury, is your growth. And when you're growing, you really, really, really need to share that growth with other people so that they can either grow with you, prepare to grow for themselves, understand what your growth is, and then, of course, share it with the rest of the people in the whole wide world.
I love it. Thank you so
You're welcome
much
very
for
much.
your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yay!
And this is the
go
first
ahead.
Angelina Live since when?
Oh my goodness, it's probably been since February or January. So my life is crazy. I'm on a nonprofit now for foster children transitioning out of foster care. So doing things with that and honoring my mom through travel.
Amen.
And still doing the hiking, and life is crazy.
Right.
But on some of these travels, I think I'm going to do some lives.
You should do the lives on the travels. Listen,
I know.
man.
But when you're on the beach in Mexico, you're not really thinking, oh, let me do an Angelina Live.
Well, sure. Look, meet a Mexico person in Mexico. Look, I do Angelina Live. I live in Virginia. But let's talk about something. I'm telling you, look, you can be worldwide Angelina Live.
I love it.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Oh, sorry. The book.
Yes, the book.
The book is out on Friday, June 11th,
Yay!
which is my birthday. So if you want to give me a birthday present, buy my book. Or just say happy birthday on Facebook. Either way.
Buy the book. Definitely
you can purchase
buy
it at
the book.
thesewords.com.
One more time. Can you tell them how to spell it just in case?
DEEZWORDS.com. Thesewords.com.
And we'll put it in the comments as well.
And we will put it in the comments. Thank you guys for
Thank
attending
you.
or watching. I appreciate y'all. You don't want to say bye? Oh, sorry.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.